Hey everybody, welcome to class again. It's great to see everyone. I'm glad you guys came. Okay, so if you've been to class before, you know how we start every class. Hey everybody, welcome to class. Oops, that was my cell phone. You guys know I need to use my cell phone so that I can keep track of all of your comments and also make sure that I can broadcast properly. All right, so we're going to start class with introductions like we always do. I'll put the questions in the chat box for you guys so that you can see them. But the questions for today are, 1, what is your name? 2, what country are you from? And 3, where are you right now? Where are you right now? I know some of you guys watch this class from interesting places, sometimes from work or other places. So I'd love to know where you are right now. So I'll introduce myself. You guys go ahead and introduce yourselves in the chat box. And then I'm going to introduce the special guest that we have with us today. So my name is Patricia. Most of you already knew that. And I'm from the United States. Now, where am I right now? This room is actually a bedroom in my house. It's not the bedroom that I sleep in. It's an extra bedroom that we use for guests or visitors. All right. So now you guys can definitely introduce yourselves in the chat box. I see there are some people watching. I know you're here. Okay. So don't be shy. Tell us your name. Tell us what country you're from and tell us where you are right now. We'd love to know. Now, while you guys are doing that, hey, Aisha, good to see you again. Now, while you guys are doing that, I would love for our special guest to introduce herself. Laura, are you ready?
Yes, I am. Hi, everyone. My name is Laura White, and I am a tutor. I run a company called Peak Tutoring.
All right, Laura. So.
And I am a tutor. I run a company called Peak Tutoring.
All right, Laura, can you hear me okay?
Laura. So. Yes.
All right. So, Laura, my question for you is, what country are you from?
Okay. What country I'm from? I am from, and I am in the kitchen right now. And the state that I live in is Colorado.
All right. So, Laura, I'm going to ask you to pause just for 1 second so that I can check something with our video. Okay. I think there might be a little bit of an issue. So just hold on 1 second. And you guys that are watching on YouTube, just give me 1 second. I want to make sure that everyone can hear properly. Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you guys that are watching on YouTube before we go any further. Can you hear Laura clearly? I just want to make sure that you guys can hear Laura clearly. So if you can hear Laura clearly, just say yes in the comments. Just type in YES. Now, if you cannot hear Laura correctly, or if you can't hear Laura clearly, type in no in the comments. Okay, guys? So if you can hear Laura, type in yes. If you cannot hear Laura, type in no. Javier, I see you. Hello, Javier. And who else is here? Ganesh. It's nice to see you, Ganesh. Awesome. All right. So, Javier, you can hear properly? Okay, that sounds good. All right. I'm just going to check from one other person. I want to make sure that you guys can hear clearly before we keep going with our class. All right. I'll give you guys a few seconds to type in yes or no. That's all you have to type in. If you can hear clearly, type in yes. And if not, you can type in no. Ganesh also said yes. Okay, awesome. And Aisha also said yes. Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm just going to share something with you, Laura. I can't actually hear you, okay? But we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started with the demonstration, all right?
Okay.
Awesome. Okay. I can hear you a little bit now, so I think this will work. Don't worry. So what I want to ask you, Laura, before we get started is, can you share with my students, are you a native English speaker?
Yes, I am. I grew up in California, and then when I was 11 years old, we moved to Colorado. So I've always lived in the United States and always spoken English.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. And now I have just a couple of announcements before we get started. Now, the reason why Laura is here is because she has an interesting science demonstration to show us. And what we're going to do is we're going to describe what we see as she's doing this demonstration. That'll be great practice for you guys to make sentences and be able to explain or describe the things that you see. So before we get to the demonstration, a couple of quick announcements. Remember that this free class happens pretty much every week, okay? Now, to make sure that you don't miss any free classes, you should go to my Facebook page and like that page, okay? If you like the page, you'll always get a message when I post new events, okay? So if you're looking for more free classes, definitely check that out. Now, I also want to let you guys know that if you need more help with your English, if you need other things to help you study, YouTube videos, Facebook lessons, articles to read, study tips, I have a lot of material that I create for students. If you'd like more of that, you can join my club. All you have to do is go to my website, which I just put in the chat box for you guys. And the last thing I want to remind you guys is that I also have small group and private classes. And I know some students are looking for that. So if you want more information about my small group or private classes, you can go to my website and I posted the link for that as well. Now, Laura also has a website and I want to share that with you guys in case you'd like to know a little more about Laura or you want to talk to her about what she does. So I'm going to post that link in the chat box. And Laura, is there anything that you'd like to share with the students today about what you do?
Sure. I do private online tutoring, one-on-one tutoring online. And the subjects that I tutor in are science, math, English, as in like writing mostly, and study skills.
Nice. Cool. So maybe you guys have kids or know someone who has kids who could use her services. Now, Laura, before we start this science demonstration, which I have to say I'm really excited about, okay, can you just quickly describe what you're going to do so that the students know what to expect?
Sure. I am going to have 2 jars of liquids, and then I'm going to put a piece of cardboard on top of one of the jars, and I'm going to tip it over and set it down on top of the other jar of liquid. And I'm going to slide the cardboard out from between them. And then the 2 jars will be on top of each other. And we'll see what happens. So the first step is just describe what you see.
Thank you, Laura. So now
ready for me to go
have to grab a few things. So you can go ahead and get the materials. And you guys who are about to watch this demonstration, okay, I'm going to tell you what to expect so you know what to do. We're going to practice making sentences. And the first thing Laura is going to do is just show you what she's starting with. And you guys are going to describe what you see. So as soon as she's back, she'll show you that. Javier, you have a friend, Fabi, who wants to be my new student? That's awesome. Tell Fabi to come to the Facebook page or go to my website. She can send me a message and we can talk about that. Is Fabi here? Fabi, say hi if you're here. I don't see you. All right. Laura, you ready to come back on screen?
I'm here. Do you see it? Okay, so students, type what you see.
Yes, exactly. Now, you guys can write sentences to describe what Laura is holding in her hands. And Laura, I know we don't want to wait too long, so if you want to go ahead and start the demonstration, you can. But you guys who are watching right now, go ahead and type in a sentence to describe what Laura was holding.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use the cardboard. So you might want to look up from typing real quick to be able to see what happens here. Okay, I'm going to remove the cardboard. All right. What do you see? Can you type what happened?
All right, so what do you guys see now? Okay, I see some sentences popping up. So, Ganesh said Lara is holding two different glasses. So yes, that's how she started. Exactly. Abner, good to see you. So now that Lara has flipped the two jars over, what do you guys see now? What do you guys see now? Ganesh, that was very good grammar, by the way. Good job. So now that Lara has completed the demonstration, what do you see now? Lara, let's get you back on screen.
Okay, so type what you see now that I have put one jar on top of the other.
Nice. All right. So who else is typing sentences? Ganesh cannot be the only person that's here to learn English. If you guys type in sentences, I can help you with your grammar. All right. So let's see. Javier, she is holding two glasses filled with water. Then she put the glass up, down, and now I can see only a large glass filled with water. Okay. That was great, Javier. You tried to put a lot of information in there. So we'll talk a little bit about how to fix that sentence. You started out great. She is holding two glasses filled with water. Then she put one glass upside down. That's what we say in English, upside down. So she turned one glass upside down and then put it over the other glass. Very good. And now it looks like one large glass filled with water. Very good. Now, how would you describe the water inside those glasses? What about that? Okay. Abner, I see you. I know you're here. Come on, type in a sentence. Same with you, Aisha. I know you're here. Go ahead and type in a sentence. Now, Lara, how are you doing over there?
I'm doing well. Students, you can type what you see. What do you notice about the color?
All right, Laura, now I think we can get ready for the second part of the demonstration, okay? So if you want to go ahead and grab the materials for that while the students finish their sentences, that would be awesome. All right, so you guys, I'm looking in the comments, not seeing a lot of sentences today. Are you guys awake today? What's going on? All right, let's see. What else do we have here? Javier, do you understand the corrections that I made for your sentence? Okay, let me know if you have any questions about those corrections. And Ganesh, let me know if you have another sentence to describe what happened after Lara flipped the glasses over. Okay, I'm checking the comments so that I can help you guys out with your grammar. Aisha, yes, the color is green. The color is green. So green color, I've seen a lot of students type that or say that. In English, we usually say the water is green. We don't use the word color. You don't need to use the word color. So you can say the water in the glass is green, or the color of the water is green. Okay? But native speakers don't usually say it's green color. Okay? So that's usually how we'll use those words. Let's see what else. Javier, yes, of course. Okay, I wanted to make sure you understood. You know I have to ask. I'm a teacher. All right, the water turned into green. Close. The water turned green. Okay, when we talk about colors, when colors change, we say turned. So the water was clear, and then it turned green. Or the water was yellow and blue, and then it turned green. Okay, so you don't need into, you can just say it turned green. All right, but that's good. That's a nice description of that. Let's see what else. Oh, we have somebody new here. All right, I'm going to try to pronounce your name correctly. Shamsudin? Shamsudin Babu, maybe. Hello, I'm glad you came to class. And oh, Talal, first, please remind me your name. I know you've been here before, but remind me of your name. The liquid color is green. Okay, so the liquid color is green. That's grammatically correct. Yes, most native speakers would say this. The liquid is green. The liquid is green. Or the color of the liquid is green. That's the other thing that you'll hear. Okay, so when we talk about color in English, there are certain ways that we use those words. I'm glad we're doing this. And oh, okay, we have another sentence. Changes of color, changes of color. That's very close. Native speakers generally will say the color changed or it changed color. Sometimes you can say, if you're talking about the present tense, the color changes. The color changes. Okay? So it changed color or the color changes. All right, we have some more comments coming in. If I miss your comment, let me know, okay? Sometimes it's hard to catch all the comments. So if I miss your comment, let me know and I'll go look for it. Let's see. Okay, Talal, that is your name. Perfect. I just wanted to make sure I'm calling you the right name. Now, before there were two different color of water in different glass, but now color of water is changed into green. Okay, so very good. You have a lot of good information in here. So this is Ganesh, all right? Ganesh, before there were two different colors of water because there's more than one color. Okay, so you want to say before there were two different colors of water in different glasses because there were more than one glass. There were two glasses. Okay, but now the color of the water has changed to green, Okay, so for color, some people might use the preposition into. Where I'm from, it's not the most common preposition to use when you're talking about color. The most common one is changed to green. The color changed from blue to green or from yellow to green. Okay, so that was a great sentence. A lot of good information. All right, Ganesh, if you have any more questions about that sentence, just let me know. All right, Javier, I see something from you. So when can I use turn into? Oh, good question. So turn into is like when something changes completely. Like imagine I do a magic trick, okay? And if you don't know what a magic trick is, it's like, hey, look at this. I have this in my hand. Oh, now look, it's a totally different color, something like that. So if something changes into something completely different, like if I could turn this ball into a pen or something like that, then I would say the ball turned into a pen. Okay, the ball turned into a pen. You could say that. Turn into, let's see, what's another way? Maybe you guys can think of another way to use turn into, because Javier has a question about that. What are some other ways that you've heard turn into used? Because that happens a lot in English. That phrase is pretty common. Javier, that was a great question. Okay, if we get more examples, we'll talk about them. All right, so there is changes of color in the upper jar. Okay, so there is changes of color in the upper jar. The best way to say that is, to be honest, the way I would say it is the color in the upper jar changed. So in English, it's actually pretty common to start with the object, the thing, that's doing something, right? We have this jar and the color inside the jar is changing. So I would actually start with that. And that's pretty common in English. So the jar, the color in the upper jar changed. Okay. The color in the upper jar changed. And you added at the end to green. Yes. So the color in the upper jar changed to green. Exactly. That's a good one. All right. Oh, who is that? Manira. Hey, welcome to class. Okay, Manira, you'll get caught up in just a few minutes. We have a special guest today, and she's showing us some demonstrations so that we can describe them and work on our sentence making skills, work on our grammar, things like that. All right, Manira, so stay tuned. All right, what else do we have? Yes, I'm from Bangladesh. Oh, you're from Bangladesh. Awesome. Welcome to my class. All right, so we're going to give Laura just a couple more minutes to get her materials together. She has to get a few things, and she's going to show us something similar to what she did the first time. But we're going to watch the results and see if we notice anything different. Okay, so Laura is ready. Laura, let's get you back on screen.
Okay, students, I have another set of jars. So please type in the chat box, what do you see this time?
Awesome. So this is basically the same starting point. You guys can try a new sentence if you want to. Type in a sentence to describe what Laura is holding in her hands. And Laura, you can get yourself back on screen and go ahead and get started with the rest of the demonstration.
Okay, we're going to do with the cardboard. So watch the screen. Is anything different this time? Okay, type what you see.
Okay, so as you guys are writing these sentences, I want to encourage you to try to describe anything that's different than the first time. Okay, so if you see something that's different, definitely try to describe that. Laura, let's get you back.
Okay, type what you see, type the differences. Do you see anything new this time?
All right, so I'm going to read a couple of sentences and then we can get you back on screen, Laura. So this time, Javier says, this time it was slower. This time was slower. Okay, Javier, I'm going to ask you to explain a little more. What was slower? Explain to me. Tell me what you mean, okay? And Ganesh, now Laura is holding two different jars filled with yellow and green liquid. Nice. That was the starting point when she had the two separate glasses. Now, Shamsuddin Babu, I hope I said that correctly. If not, I'm sorry. This is just like magic. This is just like a magic. Two color makes a new one. Yeah, so science is a lot like magic. That's why I love science. So I'm going to help you with these sentences a little bit. This is just like magic. Magic. We don't need an article with magic if you use it as a noun. A lot of times you'll just say, this is magic, or this looks like magic. Okay? But that was a great vocabulary word that you used. And then you said two color makes a new one. Now remember, if it's two, you have to use the plural word. Two colors make a new one. Okay, two colors mix to make a new one, a new color. Very nice. All right. Oh, Cesar, when did you get here? Hello. Sorry for coming late. That's okay. Don't worry, Cesar. We're describing a demonstration that we just watched. Okay, so you'll see what we're talking about in just a minute, Cesar. Talal, two bottles. The right one is blue and the left is yellow. And she mixed the blue with the yellow and the color changed to green. That was awesome, Talal. There's one verb in your sentence that needs to be in the past tense. Now, I'm not going to tell you which one it is. I want you to look at your sentence and see if you can find the word that should be in the past tense, and then you can change that word. Tell me what word you need to change in your sentence. All right, Jose, welcome to class. I think you're new. I don't think you've been to one of my classes before. Welcome, Jose. You're from Venezuela. Nice to meet you. Talal, mixed. Exactly. Very good. That word should also be in the past tense. So then your sentence is great. Okay, Laura, let's get you back.
Okay, students, do you see this color here being different from this color down here? Or do they look the same?
All right, guys. You guys can take a few more seconds to write sentences if you want to, okay? But Talal, I see that you found mixed is the word that you need to change. Also, Aisha, very good. You noticed that also. Mixed is the word that needed to be changed. Very nice, guys. All right, so Lara, I'm going to give the students a couple more minutes to type in any sentences that they want to try to make. But in the meantime, Laura, if you want to get ready to talk a little bit about what actually happened, what these liquids are, and why they behave the way they do, then you can go ahead and get ready for that. And we'll do that in just a couple of minutes, okay?
Okay.
All right, guys, let's see. Ganesh has a sentence here. In this second demonstration, Laura put down the green jar over the yellow jar. Now, color has not mixed into one as before. So, Ganesh, you're very observant. You're very observant. Yes, so the color did not completely mix like it did the first time. Very nice, okay? So, here's what you want to change with those sentences. In this second demonstration, Laura put the green jar over the yellow jar, okay? So you don't need the word down. You can just say she put the green jar over the yellow jar. That's all you need to say. And now the colors, because there were two colors, the colors have not mixed into one as before, okay? That's perfect. But that was a lot of description. I really like that. Good job. Now, Aisha, there is different dark green and light green. Yes, so you also noticed the color change was not the same as the first time around. Very nice. So there is a different dark green and a light green. So a lot of times native speakers would just say there's a dark green and there's a light green. Or there's part that's dark green and there's part that's light green. You can say that. And let's see, there are a couple other sentences here. Javier, how can I say the jar of top? Oh, the jar on top. That's what you want to say, on top or on the bottom. Just like we say on the left or on the right. Okay? So the jar on top, and then you can say what you want to say about that. All right, Javier, so you can go ahead and type in any other sentences that you want to try. Now, Laura, if you want to go ahead and talk a little bit about, or actually, you know what? Okay, Laura, before you reveal what actually happened, I'm going to ask a couple of questions and let the students guess. So we'll see what their guesses are first, and then you can explain, okay?
Okay. So students, the first time they mix.
Done with your sentences, here are a couple of questions for you. First of all, what do you think the liquids are in the jars that Laura had? What do you think that liquid was? Okay. What do you think that liquid was? Even if you're not sure, take a guess. What's the worst that could happen? What is the liquid in the jars? Okay. I'll give you guys a few seconds, and then Laura, then we'll go ahead and you can explain. But I want to see what they think is in the jars.
Okay. And you can also guess, why do you think they mixed the first time? But
yeah, absolutely.
Stayed different color on the second.
All right. So we have a couple of guesses. All right, Laura, one of the guesses is that the liquid is alcohol. Another guess is vinegar. And those are the only two guesses so far. So Laura, would you like to reveal what the liquids are?
Okay, the liquids are actually water, just plain water with food coloring. I mixed yellow into one and blue into one.
Awesome. And we talked about food coloring last week because we did a little something with food coloring. So you guys should be familiar with that term. Now, Laura asked another interesting question. Why do you think that the liquids mixed completely the first time, but they didn't really mix that much the second time? That's a harder question, but if you have a guess, go ahead and type in your answer. Let's see what you guys think. Why would they behave like that? They mixed completely the first time, but they didn't really mix that much the second time. Why is that? Yes, Talal, it's water with food coloring. Water with food coloring. Or some people just say with coloring. You can say that if you want to shorten it a little bit. Okay? Now, Manira, yes, you're right also. It's water with food coloring. Water with food coloring. Now, Laura, guess what? We don't have any guesses as to why the water was one way at the first time and a different way the second time. Now, that's a pretty hard question. So I'm going to say let's go ahead and tell them the answer.
Okay, we will reveal the secret. The secret is due to heat, a difference in heat. So the first time, let's spell this. The first time when they mixed, it was because we had cold water on top that was blue and the yellow on the bottom was hot. And things that are hot, heat rises and goes up. Things that are cold sink and go down. So because the yellow was going up and the blue was going down, they went past each other and they mixed and became green. So that's what happened in the first one. Any guesses what I did the second time? Knowing that hot goes up and cold goes down. What do you think I did so that they stayed separate? This is still blue on top. This is still yellow on the bottom. Do you want me to show them, Patricia?
Yeah, so you know what, Laura? That's a great question. Now that they know what happened the first time, we can give them a few seconds and see if there are any guesses about what might have been different the second time. So Talal has a guess that the second time, both of them were cold or both of them were hot. Now those are pretty good guesses. Also, Javier said it's hard to figure out. And yes, I agree. That's a hard question to figure out. But he guessed that the second time you used only cold water. So he's thinking the same thing that Talal was thinking. All right. So
yeah,
you want to share the secret?
Okay. On number 2, hot was on the top. Hot wants to go up, so it stayed up. Cold was on the bottom. It wants to go down, so it stayed down. They did not mix.
So interesting. You guys who guessed that they were both hot, or both cold, I'd say that you guys were on the right track. There's an expression for you, on the right track. It means you were headed in the right direction. You were thinking the right way. Maybe you didn't have exactly the right answer, but good thinking, guys. So Laura explained a little bit more about why the colors separate. And Laura, let's get you back on screen one more time to show that picture.
There you go. Here's the picture nice and big. Can you see it?
Thank you, Laura. So I want to just share some of the comments. Laura, Talal says, wow, this is really magic. I agree. Science is magic. Yes. And Javier says, that makes sense now. So it all came together. Just needed a little explanation. All right. Now, if you guys have any more questions about this demonstration, go ahead and ask Laura. She can answer any questions that you have. So I'll give you guys about 10, 15 seconds. If you have any questions that you'd like to ask Laura, go ahead and type them in and I'll read them so that Laura can answer them. Okay, so we have a message from Javier. I'm going to do the same thing with my little niece and nephew to play with them. So Javier is going to play a trick on his niece and nephew.
Good. Make sure you use very hot and very cold water.
Yes, we figured that out. We want to make sure that the hot water is really hot and the cold water is really cold. Now, Laura, I have one more question for you while we're waiting to see if anyone has more questions. Now, you've done this demonstration for kids, younger kids, and I'm curious, what are some of the ideas and guesses that they have about something like this?
Sometimes they think that because oil will float on top of water, they think that maybe one is oil and one is water, and that's why the oil stays on top. They think sometimes that I'm tricking them when they stay separate colors by putting plastic, clear plastic in between, like plastic wrap that you put on food. They think maybe there's a little piece of plastic wrap separating them so that they cannot mix. Sometimes they think there's different types of liquids in, maybe that one is a drink, like has powder, like a drink that you mix, Kool-Aid powder mixed in, and the other one might be just water, so they would have different densities, kind of different heaviness. So those are some of the ideas they come up with.
Nice. Kids are clever. They're really creative. They think of all kinds of ways that things could possibly happen. All right, so we have a couple more comments. Oh, Talal has some advice for Javier. Be careful when you're doing this demonstration at home. Okay, don't destroy the house. All right, who else is here? Oh, Ali, hello. Welcome to class, Ali. We're close to the end, but definitely stick around. We have a few more things to talk about. So, Laura, we don't have any more questions about the demonstration, but I really want to thank you so much for being here today. It's really helpful when we have something interesting to look at and describe so that we can work on our English skills. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for inviting me to be a special guest. It's been my pleasure.
Okay, so before we wrap up class today, guys, I have a couple of announcements that I'm going to make. And also, we have about 6 or 7 more minutes. So if you have any questions about English that you want to ask, you can go ahead and put those in the comments now. If it's something that I can answer quickly, I'll answer it now. If not, then I'll put something on the Facebook page later on this week. Okay, so the announcements I want to make one more time. These free classes happen every week. This is not the only one. If you want to come to more free classes, all you have to do is go to my Facebook page and like the page. If you like my Facebook page, you'll get a message every time I post a new event. You can also go to my Facebook page and just look at events, and you'll see all the free classes there. So my Facebook page, I already posted the link. If you go all the way back to the top of the chat box, you'll see that the link is there. Remember that I also have an English club. If you need more help studying English, I have free resources. All you have to do is go to my website and you can join the club there. Lastly, small group classes and private classes. I teach both of those things. If you're interested in small group classes or private classes, go to my website. The link is right there in the chat box for you guys. There's a conversation skills class that starts on March 18th. That's about 2 weeks away. So if you're interested in that class, definitely go to the website today so that you can schedule a meeting and join that class. All right. Laura, do you have anything else that you'd like to share before we finish up today?
Well, if your students know of any other students who might need help with math or writing or science or study skills, they can look at my website, which is peaktutoring.org. It's peaktutoring.org. I also have a Facebook page, which is Peak Tutoring.
Thank you, Laura. All right, so let's take a look at the last couple of comments that we have. Javier says, thank you, Laura, for your valuable help. It's very kind of you. Thank you for sharing this experiment with us.
My pleasure.
And let's see, what else do we have? Okay, so Shamsuddin Babu. Hot water becomes lighter that remained in the upper jar. Okay, so hot water becomes lighter. Laura, is that how you would describe it? Would you use the word lighter for the hot water?
Kind of, yeah. It's less dense.
Less dense. Okay, less dense. Got it. Okay, so there you go. The correct scientific way to describe it is hot water is less dense and cold water is more dense. Thank you, Laura. All right. What else do we have here? Javier says, thank you so much. Javier, you're welcome. Also, be careful. I know you're probably at work right now. Don't get in trouble. Okay. Abner, I'm glad you came by, Abner. Good to see you again. Talal, can you give us a lesson about, prepositions in the future? Okay. Talal, this is a common question. The problem is there are so many prepositions in English. So to give a class about all prepositions is not really possible. Now, if there are certain prepositions that give you trouble or that you're confused about, tell me what those prepositions are, because then I can help you with those specific prepositions and the different ways that you can use them. Okay. So you can put that in the chat box. Even if it's after the class ends, you can still put that in the chat box and I'll see it. All right. Let's see. Thank you very much, Laura. It's from Talal. And let's see, Abner, I couldn't watch the full class, but thanks anyway. Abner, you can still watch the full class. So as soon as the class is done, you'll be able to watch the whole class from the beginning. I'm also going to post it on the Facebook page because a lot of people can't come to the class when it happens. They have other things that they have to do. So I post the recordings on the Facebook page. But if you're already here on YouTube, as soon as the class is done, you can watch the whole class. All right. So don't worry, Abner, you didn't miss anything. And let's see, any last minute comments? Aisha, thank you so much, Laura. That's from Aisha.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, guys. So I don't see any other English questions except the one about prepositions. For that one, give me more information. Which prepositions are driving you crazy? Tell me and I'll help you with those prepositions. All right, guys, I want to thank you so much for coming to class today. You guys really worked hard. I hope you found it helpful to write these sentences and then talk about how to correct them. Don't forget, there are other free classes this week. If you're looking for that information, remember, it's on my Facebook page under events. All right, everybody, have a good day or have a good night. Bye, everyone.
Have a good day.